God damn it, why is this underwear still the only ad that ever shows up on my fucking thing? Do I have to go to porn sites to get this to go away? Do I have to start clicking on, like, vegetable products or something?
Yes.
Because literally, like, I
yes.
never click this ad, so I don't click anything that changes this. It doesn't like...
Does it bother you to see underwear?
It doesn't bother me, I just want variety. You know what I mean?
A variety
Welcome to
of
the
underwear?
podcast, where the only thing scripted is this intro.
I'm Jason David Boyd.
Why do you always do this to me? Why do you
Dude,
always do this to me?
we said we're gonna start the
Well,
show.
we didn't have a countdown.
It's because it was loading and you were in like just neck deep in your story.
I was
Yes, it was
mid-underwear
start, and then like you didn't.
No, the thing is I hit record before you even started that.
Oh,
I hit record
jeez.
when you're talking about it there being a problem.
I thought there was a problem, and there's not. Hey, how's everybody doing? What is today?
Sunday.
Doesn't matter. Sunday, football's on.
Yes, it is.
And we were off last week, and we're here this week. How's everybody doing? Haven't seen you guys in a couple of minutes, because I've been neck deep in my phone.
I tell what day of the week it is by looking at Garen's shirt.
I always wear a Sunday Funday shirt.
He always
I
wears
love
a
it.
Sunday
It's my
Funday
favorite
shirt.
You say that, but we've caught you on several occasions.
No.
Hey, Garen, do you want to
Not
explain yourself about how you didn't wear the Sunday Funday shirt on one of these Sundays? We're gonna have you arrested.
Alright, let's get into it. No, let's get into it. You guys,
I just got arrested.
I have something important that I'm just going to dive right in, and to hell with any other news that you guys thought. A trailer is out for Woody Allen's web series on Amazon. And that is probably the most important thing for me personally, relating to this show that has happened this
As for the
week.
history of the show in general.
So, I mean, it was like our second or third episode with the
No.
spiders in the Amazon. What was it?
That was like our 20th episode.
It doesn't
was
matter.
amazing.
It was one of
Yeah.
the best ones we ever did in the radio station, and to this day, I'm just like, we've reached a milestone. Like, a thing has happened now. And I watched the trailer. Did anybody else watch the trailer? Did you watch the
Yeah,
trailer?
what's true?
Did you watch the trailer?
I did not watch the
All right. The trailer was garbage. It was a good trailer
It's
for
a-
a bad TV show.
It's a Woody Allen TV
Like,
show.
I'm convinced that I'm gonna hate it, but I'm gonna watch it anyway. And it's just really strange, you know. Like, it's Woody Allen, and if you like Woody Allen's work, then it's probably great. I don't personally I don't care for it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I'm watching this, and I'm just realizing like this is gonna be painful to watch. It's gonna go nowhere. Nothing's gonna happen, and Amazon is gonna regret all the money that they spent on it. But it's going to be hilarious. Not because it's actually funny, but because it's going to be hard to watch. That's my prediction for it. Maybe it'll be amazing. I'm not really sure. I don't know what to expect. The trailer was strange. Miley Cyrus, I feel, I feel like she's miscast because I think she's the daughter of Woody Allen's character, who's just far too old to be in this situation. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a granddaughter. Maybe it's a...
Knowing Woody Allen, it'll be his girlfriend or something.
Oh God, maybe. I don't know. No, I think he's actually married to Elaine May's character. I don't really know. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't get a sense of what was happening in this show from the trailer.
Which is a good sign.
I just know that it's finally here and it exists, and now Amazon's really, like, their trailer, if you look at the text, you know when you get a property that is an absolute dumpster fire and the studio behind it is like trying as hard as they can to pretend that it's great,
Trying to sell it.
trying to
Yeah.
overhype it. I think that's what Amazon's doing right now because they think they know they've got a pile of crap on their hands. Maybe not a pile of crap, I should stop saying that, but they know they've got something that they can't sell to their audience. They know they've just got some weird, like, whatever, like, executive thought it was a good idea to pay this much money to Woody Allen probably isn't going to be there for much longer because they're all realizing what a horrible mistake they made.
Well, unless it's a cult hit and everyone goes crazy over
True,
it.
which is entirely possible. That doesn't mean I'm going to like it. I might not get it.
Or
but if
award
it-
bait.
If it does well, then it does well. That's good. I don't want it to fail. I just think it's going to fail. But that's just me. And yeah, I've nothing else really to say about that. There's no synopsis out yet.
Yeah, it's just the trailer.
It's just the trailer, and it's very difficult to pull anything out of the trailer. I think Woody Allen is a filmmaker, and his wife is a psychiatrist, and they hate each other, and yet they love each other. It's that typical thing.
Sounds kind of typical, yeah.
There's other people in it that I don't recognize, and it's just a lot of very disconnected moments of dialogue. So, who knows? Maybe it's all from one episode, maybe it's from the entire series, maybe there is no plot. Maybe it's a modern Seinfeld
Maybe it goes.
set in the 60s.
Maybe the first episode is the last episode, and the last episode is an episode 3 years in the past.
So it's Haruhi, but as an American sitcom.
Sure.
Sure.
That is
No, nobody's gonna understand that.
You understood.
I understand it. Nobody else.
Rock might have understood it.
One Punch!
Totally.
That's the only show he cares
It's
about.
the only show he watches.
Right
All
now,
right,
it's the only
so-
anime I'm watching.
All right.
Sue me.
So, which segue do you guys like better? Speaking of Amazon or speaking of old people?
Old people.
Old people?
Speaking of old people.
So speaking of old people, you hear about Stan Lee's new movie.
Oh, it's where he plays like a superhero, right?
They're making a movie based on Stan Lee's life,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an action movie set in the 1970s, reported in the style of Roger Moore's Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, on a side note to this, according to this, Stan Lee is actually the second highest gross actor.
In the film?
No, in film in general.
Why?
Apparently after Samuel L. Jackson,
No, that
he's
makes
pretty
sense.
high up on box office lists.
Why am I not surprised that Samuel Jackson's the number one?
And
I'm
Stan Lee,
surprised.
because of all the cameos. I guess he gets a lot of money for
Is
it.
this just in Marvel or?
I think
or-
this is just in movies, but it might
No,
be in
that's not
Marvel.
possible. They pay.
Yeah, I think you need to check your facts, my friend.
Yeah, that's why I
They
think
pay
this might
Robert
be wrong.
Downey Jr. so much money.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's why I thought it was
there's
kind
no
of
way.
weird. So I'm like,
There's
Maybe at his age range or age bracket.
There's a caveat that quantifies that as like the highest paid actor to receive a cameo credit or something.
Yeah.
You know, as in he's one of the only ones that's paid for it because most cameos are free, or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this list. It's kind of weird.
That's okay. I was trying to prepare for a.
It's not adjusted for
Sure.
inflation.
I was trying to prepare for a joke this morning, and I was looking up the price of diamonds. Not just like how much is a diamond, but like the world's most expensive diamonds. I found two different lists with the same diamonds with different monetary values by like a
What's this
staggering
list
amount.
made?
Like one would be listed at 12 million, and on another website it would be listed at like 78 million. And
Okay, yeah.
there was no sense of scale on it. It was just numbers.
I'm gonna have to look into this
Yeah.
list later because it looks really wrong.
Later will be too late. It doesn't matter.
No, I know.
What's your
I'm
other your Amazon store?
Oh, the Grand Tour is getting a release date.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's coming soon. It's October, I think.
November 18th.
November, yeah.
November 18th. Happy birthday to me.
We kind of knew that though already. There
Yeah.
have been rumors that it was gonna be in November.
Apparently it's been signed up for 3 12-episode series already. So,
In addition to the one that's already there, or
I think that's including that, but that's still like,
that's good. That
Mhm.
means
still gonna be
they
like
like
36
they saw.
episodes at least.
Definitely not the Amazon spiders.
No.
Well, maybe in a good way. Actual
Yeah.
Amazon spiders.
Spiders in the Amazon.
Yeah,
Took a
they'll probably be
car
actual Amazon
to
spiders.
Amazon.
They did.
They
That was,
did.
that was a good episode.
It was a good episode. I love any episode that's just like one giant trip where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
God, that's such a good show. I'd be glad to have
Them back.
them back on TV. I couldn't get into this other Top
Do,
Gear.
do you know that? Oh no, and they're still trying to make it. I think the new season's coming out.
They've
soon.
been changing hosts, I believe.
Yeah.
How many people from the last season held over to this?
I
next
think
season?
3, and even then they're still not like the full time hosts.
Is
Because I think
um,
LeBlanc is. I think he's like spotty,
uh-huh.
and Evans is out.
Okay, Evans is out, which is good.
Yeah, but we knew that.
Screw-
Like, we
screw
reported on that.
guy.
Him.
What about the Swedish lady?
Yeah, her and the German.
Okay.
Her and the German driver and Stig are still the same, but
Okay.
but they're not the permanent fixtures. They're like.
Right. No, absolutely.
I was gonna say, do you know it was 10 years? I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
That James Hammond had his rocket car crash.
No, I don't actually know what do you mean?
So
Like when they
for-
built the shuttle and they launched
No,
it
no, no,
on
no, no,
Mary's
no, no.
Coast?
It was a car with a jet engine attached to it,
Uh-huh.
and so something wrong happened when he was doing it while they were filming for Top Gear, and he wrecked,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and he had traumatic brain damage, and he was in like a coma for a really long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And
No,
so,
I had no idea.
Yeah, and so apparently what ended up happening is they told him, and this was 10 years ago,
Mhm.
that he's probably never gonna be the same again, and that he had a lot of damage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he did for the longest time. He had like he couldn't daydream, and he had a bunch
Couldn't daydream.
yeah, because the part of his head that stored those kind of memories, because like the way he described it
Right.
was where like when you think of a tree and you're looking at a tree,
Uh-huh.
all the different thoughts and memories of different trees and stuff come into your head.
Oh, you mean like when you actually can picture something, not like drifting off.
Yeah, no, he couldn't drift off. He had brain damage to where he would sit there
That's
and
weird.
sit there. He wouldn't drift off. He would just sit there.
I guess I don't know how to.
Brain damage.
Yeah,
And
that's,
it's dude, and he
well, the thing for me, I'm trying to figure like I that doesn't happen to me that often,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of, but I wouldn't be able to quantify it. And if it stopped happening, I don't think I would notice.
You
Yeah,
because you
you-
would because the thing is you'd be sitting there, and you'd want to go for like you'd want to start thinking other thoughts,
Right.
and you'd only be in the here and now.
Okay.
Like for him,
Oh.
like for
okay.
him, he'd
Yeah.
sit
No.
there.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
That's that's
Oh.
wild.
dude. And he was also talking about like,
As a creative, that must be terrible, actually.
oh, I mean, again, he was,
Jesus.
yeah, and apparently like he was conscious through the whole thing, but he didn't remember any of it.
Right.
So,
Because it messed up his memory too. Probably.
Yeah, and
He's
so-
lucky he didn't go straight Memento.
oh, and the host he was talking to after he got better
Mhm.
was making jokes about that and stuff like that. And they were there. He was pretty like lighthearted about it. So I mean, again,
Mhm.
and now again, this was 10 years ago, so
Yeah.
he was tweeting the anniversary of that. So thankfully he survived.
Man, that's why I had no idea. I mean, I rewatched like most of Top Gear that's available.
This was early. This was really
right, but
early.
I like to think I would have come across something like that. Although when as far back as Top Gear goes, as is available on like Netflix and stuff,
Uh-huh.
it's right when James May started.
Oh yeah, no, that's
So it was probably after that.
I think no, it was before that.
No, I'm saying it happened. James May showed up on the show, and the show continued.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's like old news as of the earliest you could see.
No, yeah.
Okay.
No, okay.
But I did some research about them while I was really binging the show, like just trying to learn more about them and see
Uh-huh.
what else they had done. And I never came across that. I must not have been looking in the right area for it.
Yeah, or it's like one of those things that it's not mentioned unless you know it.
Right.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
wild.
so yeah, it's
You
on that
know
news.
what I'm gonna do?
Look it up. You can actually see the crash. It's online.
I'm gonna do it
So-
on my phone because if I do it on this laptop, I won't see it till next Sunday. Because I literally only use this on the weekend.
Okay, so speaking of release dates,
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery, which is the show,
Yeah.
is being delayed 4 months.
No.
It's coming out in May now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do
No,
that.
sorry, I was still kind of reeling for the fact that the no happened. So why does?
I was gonna say,
Um,
who cares?
It says
No, you're supposed to say it with one word.
I'm sorry. It is. The
Hey.
thing is, you're acting like any of the new Trek has been like okay
It's
to
a
the
TV
old.
show.
Okay.
It is made by the same people who are probably going to be like hobnobbing to the movie.
Hobnobbers.
Hobnobbers.
Yes. 'Cause
I-
let me
well-
put it this way: the fact that they were so anti-actual Trekkie is what made me worried.
Here's what I have to say.
Is that
Well, they've got actually an article about it on the wiki. It's called Hammond's Crash.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hammond's_crash. Yeah.
About the show,
Mhm.
Robert is in a way right because they delayed it 4 months because they think they need more time to make it better, basically. They said they decided the extra time was necessary in order to achieve a vision we can all be proud of. So it probably was.
AKA
crap.
it tested.
Or
poorly,
Jack Reacher.
too.
Sorry,
There's-
the TV's
there's
on,
TV on,
everybody.
by
We're
the
watching
way.
football, and there's
Yeah,
a trailer here for
the Cowboys
Jack
game is
Reacher.
in the background.
Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Oh.
Hashtag any content by the NFL, etc., etc.
Yeah. So the show probably isn't doing too well, and so that's why
Yeah,
they delayed it
I'm
4
sure-
months.
I'm sure it
the new
doesn't.
movie's not doing well either. A lot of people just gave up on it.
The new movie didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's to the point that like people just they saw it and they saw the trailer and they heard Sabotage and they noped right out.
Oh,
Almost
yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
And then it got quietly released. Well, the other thing too, I heard that I didn't really watch that closely, but I heard that they spoiled the ending in the trailer.
Absolutely.
And Simon Pegg went out saying like, "Don't see this movie."
Yeah.
Or like, don't watch trailers. I mean, not don't see the movie. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
But don't watch the trailers because they spoil it, and he had no control over that happening. So it sounds like they really
Dropped the ball.
crapped the bed
Yeah.
really hard.
Yes, and tell me how Robert is wrong.
I didn't
Well-
say you're wrong. I was just
You and Garen were mad mugging me like crazy, like I was wrong.
because it's
Your eyes said a
because
lot
it's
of
new
words.
Star
You
Trek
are
series.
rang. That's what I said.
didn't
You
say
misread
anything.
my eyes.
Hey, Garen, where's your article?
My article's right here.
Okay.
I
And click away.
yeah.
Is it
speaking
now?
of-
But it's also the same article as Robert S. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
That's
go
right.
for it. I have like 800 different
Oh.
articles because I do research
Yeah.
in my job.
I'm liking the
I
idea
can
that
go
I can
kill
keep
myself,
chaining
it's
these
fine.
together.
Here's the gun.
Yeah.
Rent the bullet.
Why would I rent the
Buy the
gun?
bullet.
Why would I buy the bullet? You just use a rope. Look how high that is.
Dude, I don't trust you enough to hang yourself correctly.
Honestly, I pretty much could.
You probably tied the knot wrong and you just end up
Oh, no,
choking
that
yourself.
I'll definitely do. I'll definitely tie the knot wrong. But I'll fall down still, flat on my face.
That won't kill
I'll
you.
break something. I'll feel bad.
You know what? You end up a paraplegic.
Then you're even more useless.
Yeah. Well, at least I'll have an excuse for not looking things up
True.
because I won't have arms to do it.
No,
Oh,
but we
your
use Stephen
legs-
Hawking's computer, and your
I'll do
eyes
that.
will do the searching.
Here, do you have articles this week? No.
I am Garen. I have no
No
articles this week.
I am Garen, and I have no news. No.
Remember when we did that? Remember when the threat of public shaming was enough to get Garen to bring in one article?
No, that never worked. It was the threat of being mad and throwing things at him.
Yeah.
My face hurts from laughing too
Mostly
much.
being mad.
Okay,
'cause I don't like people being mad at me.
So I'm continuing on the trend because I like being able to chain articles together, but I think I'm out of chainable articles after this.
Combo.
Yeah, I'm going for a combo. So speaking of both Star Trek and being bad and needing to be reshot,
Oh god.
Rogue One reshoots.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah,
Like,
they're-
like another round of it?
well, they've been doing extensive reshooting, and apparently they're getting a new composer in there.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we knew about reshoots like 3 months ago.
Yeah, well,
That's not-
apparently
They're still reshooting.
Yeah,
I know, yeah, but the
they
thing
don't
is,
have enough time to make a second movie.
Yeah, the original
Yeah.
composer that was supposed to be on it, who was the composer for Grand Budapest Hotel and Godzilla,
Mhm.
was replaced by someone who did the music for, it says, The Incredibles, the Star Trek reboot, and the Medal of Honor series.
yeah.
It seems more appropriate for Star Wars.
Yeah, so they switched out composers.
I wonder how much
Been
work he had
much
done before
reshoot.
they switched out. If
I-
he wrote a score that sucked, or if it just didn't fit
Yeah.
tonally. in
I
it.
know,
what I
think
because
happens-
apparently the reshoots to begin with, it says they're reportedly to lighten the tone of the film,
Mhm.
so it was probably too dark. And they-
No, what I think happened is that his part in this movie got pushed back to where he got picked up on another job.
Oh, I'm talking about the reshoots though.
No, but that's what I'm
And then-
saying is
yeah.
that the reshoots pushed back the scoring,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that he basically said, "I'm just gonna move on to another project because I'm not gonna sit around here and wait."
Yeah. Okay. I'm not out of articles. I'm just out of anything that good that can segue. What have you got?
What do I got?
Because I don't want to just keep rapid
I mean,
fire.
not every article needs to have. a
No, that's fine.
segue.
I like the fact that I was able to do 3 or 4.
This
That
is
makes me feel good.
Jason and Garen's favorite news.
Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
I really appreciated this. I thought it was funny,
Yeah,
but I
that's
don't
funny.
I don't care.
Backstreet Boys announced residency
In Las Vegas.
in Las Vegas, so they're basically Celine Dioning it.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
amazing because they came back. They had a comeback, and now they're here. This is the kind of thing like you have to. Normally, I associate like I have a Vegas act with I have made it long enough, and now I'm in Vegas, and this is my reward for making it long enough. The Backstreet Boys left, and it's been long enough that if they had been here the whole time, they would totally deserve Vegas. But they just happen to still be alive, and everyone remembers it and forgot that there was a giant gap. So it's wild to me that they have.
It's been 22 years.
I know, but that's my point. They weren't going for 22 years. They were going for 7, and then they stopped.
I can't.
That's not
wait.
true. I mean, the thing is, they had an album. Like they've. I know at least 8 years ago they had an album come out, which was like this weird thing, and then they've been like weird mashups with other bands and stuff like that. So, well, it's gonna start March 1st, 2017. So
Actually,
next
yeah,
year.
I guess they really didn't disappear. They had
No.
a 2-year hiatus, and that was it.
Yeah, the thing is
Wow.
that the thing is they went like overseas and like Australia, and then like took some time for family, and they were still kind of recording.
Maybe I'm confusing them with NSYNC. Honestly, I still do that. Like, even to this day.
Well, the thing is, I think NSYNC more or less broke up because of how that all happened.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Is I honestly thought,
Yeah.
maybe I'm confusing them. I thought the Backstreet Boys were just...
No, and so and again they've had a resurgence now, and so basically they're gonna call the show Larger Than Life.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and all 5 members of the original cast or the original band are coming back.
Nice. I was
Um,
definitely thinking of NSYNC.
Yeah, Nick Carter, Howie, Brian, AJ, and Kevin. Yep,
That's a terrible name.
and it's gonna be
I'm definitely gonna go to that show. I really,
You're
really.
gonna go out to Vegas so you can go to that
I
show.
would not just for that, but probably.
I mean,
just
while in
that-
Vegas, you would
No,
swing
Garen's
by.
gonna go out to Vegas for that, and everything else is a bonus.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything else is gravy. Like
It's
I'll be in the crowd. I'll hold outside.
for those of you familiar with Hollywood, it's gonna be at the Access at the Planet Hollywood.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, the Planet Hollywood's kind of a weird hotel. It's on
Did you just say familiar with Hollywood?
familiar with Vegas.
Yeah, you said
He
familiar
said
with Hollywood.
you meant, yeah.
Yeah.
we meant Vegas.
Familiar with Vegas. And so basically, the Access, Planet Hollywood is on the site of the former Aladdin. And not only that, the thing is they tore down the old Aladdin and rebuilt the new one there. And then Aladdin went through some financial problems and got bought up by Planet Hollywood, and now is an entire resort dedicated to Planet Hollywood. But it still has the Arabian theme. kind of in some places.
Arabian Nights.
I'm gonna be there next weekend.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I don't know what part of Planet Hollywood, but like what part of the hotel, but the thing is I've only been there once. Like been there, like walked around the whole hotel once. It's really it's not weird. It's odd.
Their buffet is really good. If you go in the middle of the casino and go down the stairs, there's a really hipster buffet. Not hipster. It's like one of those buffets where you can sample a bunch of different things. It's like $60, but it's really good.
I'm just gonna literally eat, drink.
The best buffet.
See the Backstreet Boys.
The best buffet
I
within
wish.
the last, because I haven't been there for like a year and a half now, but the best buffet that I had there was at the Caesars. I really enjoyed it. It used to be like the crappiest buffet there, and I went there and they redid it, and it was $50 for like the brunch, and they had everything from like legitimate barbecue, not like cheap like buffet barbecue, but like
Real barbecue.
like legitimate ribs and like burnt tips and stuff like that.
Nice.
To like good sushi, to like really hearty Italian, to like it was really good.
Sounds pretty good.
It was very delicious, and
Delicioso.
the quality of the food was really good.
I like the Wins buffet a lot. That was.
The Wins buffet is really good, but I think it's gone overpriced. And if you go
I
on,
don't know what it is now.
it's like $65 to like $70. And if you go on a busy day, like they don't like because the stuff they make is like really unique, and so they don't put a lot of it out. And so if you go on a busy day, you're getting like weird scraps and stuff like that. So
I'll plan it out then.
yeah,
Hey, it's Scotty from Suits.
yeah,
That's the French law again.
Yeah.
timeless.
Or Timeless.
All right.
I keep forgetting that she's the one in that.
Did your mom like that show? I know she was excited
She
for
was
it.
excited for it. I don't think she ended up watching it.
Has it come out?
No,
Yeah.
it's I don't.
Is it? I know. I'm pretty sure that they've had their first episode.
Oh, really?
I'm not 100%.
You know, I haven't
I
talked to
don't
her
know how
about
to keep
it.
up with it.
Oh, and just really quickly to go back to the Backstreet Boys, the tickets are $40
That's
for general
affordable.
admission.
That's very.
It's actually not
I've heard
bad.
worse.
Going to Backstreet Boys then.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, residency tickets are usually.
We'll be like.
I mean, even Celine Dion wasn't like it was like $100, or like the Beatles' Love
Mhm.
was like a good ticket was 65 to 90, depending on when you went and stuff like that, of course.
Best shows that have been.
I mean, hey,
Penn and Teller
Carrot
shows.
Top's tickets are like around that price too.
Penn and Teller show is awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, damn.
Oh no.
They collided head to
Football going on
head.
back there.
Yeah, this guy, they were going to kick the ball, and he just sort of tapped it, so it rolled forward. And one of the guys, they both went for it, and they just banged like their
Yeah.
heads.
Oh
right
yeah, he
into
has a
each other.
concussion.
And they, as soon as it happened, they just both slumped over like.
You know
"Whoa."
what? At least he's up and walking away.
This game has been a rough one.
Well, I mean, everyone else who's gotten hit has been back in the game yet. So
Yeah. So how about some
nope,
movie
nope. You stop.
Okay.
You're connected your articles. I'm connected my
connections?
articles.
Connections are more important.
Gambit is now taking esports racing game into the casinos.
What?
What?
So
Game. Okay.
Gambit.
I'm sorry, Gambit. My dyslexia.
Gambit.
Gambit Gaming.
Gambit
Gambit.
Gaming.
Gambit.
Gamble it.
Lane?
Gaming.
Lane.
What game are we talking about
They're
here?
modernized casinos for millennials.
So they're just making.
Well, no, no. They want to modernize casinos.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I talked about that one of these shows somewhat.
G Sports esport platform.
I'm not
G
sure.
Sports esport platform.
So like you
That's
gamble,
fun to
you
say.
play League of Legends and you bet money on it. or something?
The thing is, right now they're doing something like that, but it's with a racing game.
Hmm.
That's what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
What racing game it was? Or
It's their own thing that they.
I
There's some
don't know
dude with a
what it is.
horned helmet on a motorcycle. It looks really wild.
In Road to Redemption, players will defeat
Whoa, Road to Redemption. Is that anything to do
No,
with?
it's Road Redemption. It's got to be
I was gonna say, does that have anything to do
No.
Oh,
God,
Road
no.
Redemption.
with that
Ticket
game?
to Ride or whatever.
Ride to Hell Redemption. or
In
whatever that
Road
one was.
Redemption, players will defeat rival biker gangs in post-apocalyptic America with prizes awarded to the highest scores on the leaderboard, bringing a fun, competitive spirit into casinos.
Yeah.
I don't
You
think
have
enough,
to beat down other bikers to win the game.
I don't think enough young people who are oriented towards gaming frequent casinos often enough.
Yeah,
that this
but
is gonna make
You
it.
you say
There's
that, and yet when they have the events like LOL,
Well, hold on though. That's different. That's a singular event drawing them all in. That's not
is.
like it just sits here so that you and I can play it once while we're in Vegas.
no, but
Yeah,
that's
the I brought this article in, I think a month or two ago, and I was talking about it,
Mhm.
where like the higher ups in Vegas, they want to bring in young people,
Right.
because most of their gamblers are like people in their 50s who are on the way out.
And that's the thing.
And
In
so-
their 50s on the way out, you got to readjust your life expectancy.
I'm talking about like they're not going to be gambling much longer because they're going to be like, all right, I'm retiring,
Yeah,
I'm not wasting my money.
No.
You are so wrong
You
on
think I'm
Literally,
wrong?
so many
there are
levels.
people, oxygen tanks, like
Okay.
dragging.
Well,
It-
anyway,
the
The
point
reason
is-
penny slots
is
exist.
for old people.
Okay, the point is they want to bring in a younger demographic, and so they were talking about trying to do more skill-based competitive games.
Yes, and
And
here
so
it
this
is.
and this is them starting on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is this going
so,
to be any good? I have no idea.
oh,
No,
well,
probably.
you know what? I'm gonna be in the November. If this is there,
Try it out.
try it out.
Yeah. Do they have the Castlevania slot machines there?
They
Wanna
got,
try
they,
one.
got
Yeah.
all, they got one of every type of everything,
Yeah.
basically.
And the thing is, like, before you've had competitive like gaming, like not gaming, but like competitive slot play,
Yeah.
where they would like section off like 3 or 4 banks of slots, and people would go there and play and play and play,
Mhm.
and the winner would win the jackpot or whatever.
And of course, there's
Yeah.
blackjack, poker. Those are all
No, that
competitive
and yeah,
Yeah.
and so basically this is adding that to
to gaming.
Yeah.
To video
Yeah.
gaming. It's hard because even like playing a video slot is considered a video game.
yeah.
In Vegas, so that's why they're calling it a G Sport or whatever. There, it's really weird.
Yeah, I don't
But anyway, it's here's the thing. This one's gonna suck ass, but it's gonna pave the way for better ones.
Well, I mean, again, and look at it this way: how does the casino add their edge to this? Because
A buy-in, I guess. I don't
well, no,
know.
but that's the thing is that the casino in every game you play,
Uh-huh.
whether it's slot machines, roulette, craps, or poker or any card games,
Mhm.
the house always has an edge.
Oh, okay. So in that case, there's got to be some kind of obstacle that makes it difficult to achieve your goal anyway,
So it's
or
gonna be-
really strong AI.
I was gonna say it's gonna be an old arcade game.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing is that it has to be competitive. It's not versus a computer.
But
It's-
but that element might be there.
But
As well.
but the thing is, it doesn't matter because the thing is, you're still betting against other people.
Right.
So it's like with poker, you're not playing against the house. You're playing against
Right.
other people sitting at the table.
Right.
You can't go. I mean, there are places where you can go and play poker by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We
And there's
usually-
video poker and stuff
well,
like
I mean,
that.
but that's what I mean,
But
but the thing
so
is,
okay, but in a casino, what does the house take out of just a table full of people playing poker against each other?
That's what I'm not 100% sure about.
Hmm.
Because the thing is, I know that there's a buy-in, and I don't know how that works. If the casino takes a cut or not.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
get-
maybe that's what it is.
I've never really done that kind of poker before.
I'm curious.
maybe
Right?
the players can raise bets against each other.
Well,
But that's the question's not where does the money come from. The question is how does the casino make money?
and
Well,
that's
the casino. Here's what I'm betting you. This is my guess, maybe. Maybe what you win from the game doesn't translate into hard cash, and instead translates to something you can use at the casino,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put in more money than it's actually worth. So maybe you put in $1 for 1,000 points. 1,000 points is only worth 50 cents, kind of translation, let's say.
Maybe,
See where I'm
but
coming
that
from,
would be
but-
hard to sell people on.
Yeah.
It's like itchy and scratchy dollars.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. That's just a guess.
Well, it sounds interesting, and it might be terrible, but I think it's about time, is what I'll say. I don't know if it's
Mhm.
necessarily a good idea, but I'm shocked that it wasn't tried before now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, it's awesome, let's do it. We'll see what happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have other segue?
Do you have any-
No,
Anything combo?
that was the only one.
Combos are important here on the Script Podcast. All right. So I have
What really was that shit?
three separate movies apparently that have been announced or coming around or whatever.
Oh boy.
Vague details on all of them, but I think they're all interesting to mention.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is a new Spawn movie,
Finally.
but it's not related to the old one though. It's
Wow.
gonna be like a reboot. But apparently there is gonna be a new Spawn movie coming around.
Is the same guy playing Spawn?
I don't believe so. It was Michael Jai White.
I know, I
last
couldn't
time.
remember his name, but I knew it was that guy.
But no, I don't believe he's playing Spawn again.
He's still
well,
young enough, you could totally.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing saying that he won't. There's nothing saying who's playing him, period.
Right.
Since it's supposed to be, it says like a fresh take of the franchise, and it's supposed to be like a dark R-rated movie kind of thing. Instead of
So was the first one.
No, the first one was like PG-13.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's why it sucked. That was part of the reason because it was so.
Got it.
Yeah, to be so
Honestly, I
subdued
don't,
for the
I
rating.
don't remember. I was so young.
Yeah, no, it was the first one. The first one had to be really subdued for the rating, so that's why it wasn't as good. Like as it could have been, because Spawn's like kind of Battle in the
Yeah.
Dark. So,
It's gross looking, if nothing else, because
Yeah.
there's all these horrifying monster creatures. And stuff.
but
And Spawn himself is like.
Yeah.
so.
but they're working on it. I guess there's nothing noted about actors, so you know he might come back and respawn. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind.
Are you saying he might respawn?
Get
Go back to
out.
being quiet.
Here's the second one because I know everybody loves mobile games. There's gonna be a Fruit Ninja movie.
Yep.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
New Line Cinema.
Why?
New Line Cinema basically bought the rights or got
Yeah.
the rights.
Didn't they just
It's
do
gonna-
Ratchet and Clank New Line?
I don't think
It's
so.
possible.
Well,
But
maybe.
you know the difference between Ratchet and Clank and Fruit Ninja is?
One is a real game.
And one has a story.
Well, here's
And
the other
characters
difference.
and people.
Here's the other difference, Garen.
Ah.
One of them is a CG animated movie because it's based off of a cartoon game, and the other one is a live action family comedy.
Oh my god, Fruit Ninja's a live action family comedy.
What
That's
are
the
they?
dumbest
Well,
goddamn thing I've ever heard.
Think about
Are
this
they
way.
trying? Like, okay, I'm. No, this is
The company, I'm sorry, Trip Vincent, who's producing Fruit Ninja the movie,
Mhm.
has worked with New Line Cinema on Journey to the Center of the Earth and San Andreas.
No, that makes a lot more sense now. Are they really like purposely trying to bomb? Like, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. It says it centers on ninjas with an inexplicable vendetta against produce, which sounds like Fruit Ninja.
So they just go into a grocery store and they just start, and this kid's like, ah!
It's the sequel to Sausage Party.
Oh my god.
All right, and I have one other film.
We also had a movie based on Angry Birds.
Yeah,
True.
there's this
By the way,
Falls of Angry
It
Birds.
was,
But they didn't make it a live action comedy about bird
Yeah.
humans.
They still kept it within the realm of. Anyway, Ratchet and Clank was Insomniac and Sony, and then a bunch of other companies I've never heard of.
So it
Yeah.
failed then.
Yeah, Insomniac's the ones who actually made the game.
Gramercy
so.
Pictures, Rainmaker Entertainment, Film Financial
Oh, I've
Services.
heard of
Distribution.
Rainmaker. I don't remember what they've done, but I've heard that name.
They
in
have
relation
done
to
Sly
movies.
Cooper, Barbie and the Pearl Princess, Barbie Mariposa and the Fairy Princess, Barbie and the Princess and the Pop Star, Barbie and the Mermaid. You get where this is going. It's a bunch of Barbie stuff.
Anything
I'm
not
sure
Barbie?
Escape from Planet Earth,
Oh no, that's
Max
Barbie.
Steel versus the Toxic Legion, Stumped, Zapped, Max Steel Dark Rival.
Max
Luna?
Steel works
Sly-
with
no,
Barbie.
it's all-
So they
it's
worked with
Barbie.
Mattel a lot.
Weird.
Also, don't
Maybe it was
forget,
Sly Cooper that I heard ring. I feel like I've heard that name as far as the studio before.
don't forget, we also have a Temple Run game coming too. So,
A new movie.
oh, I mean movie. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
All right,
Temple
so-
Run,
I got one other movie
Isn't that a
here.
Jack Black movie?
Temple Run.
I thought it was.
Not that I know.
No,
of.
he's in Jumanji.
Got it. That's what it was.
Um,
Speaking of movies.
Speaking of movies, there was a still from Jumanji, but that's not important right now.
Yeah.
Another
so-
game movie. Wink.
Kind of.
Mm.
So the last one here's the interesting one. Monster Hunter.
Hey. Nice.
You know, Capcom's Monster Hunter.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Gonna become a Hollywood movie.
All right.
So there's no other info on that, but apparently
I feel like
they're gonna make a Monster Hunter movie.
I don't know what it was, but recently.
Is that coming to the U.S.?
Yeah, it's a Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Japan's making a Monster Hunter movie, and then
Just
you know, that's
recently,
that.
everybody
just
decided
feel-
it was time to take another swing at making video game movies.
Yeah,
Well, I just think that they're making money.
They actually are making. Oh, Johnny! They are actually
It's because
making
they're
a lot of
spending.
money.
I think because they're actually taking it seriously
Yeah.
this time and spending money on it and realizing, okay, we can actually get top-notch writers and like.
No, I think you're wrong. I mean, you're right to an extent, but I also think that it's gone to the point of where people who understand video games are now writing, acting in, directing.
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you
all-
think,
all
do you
that.
think it's understanding video games as
Well, I
in,
think-
oh, they specifically have employed people like producers, development people that like video games, or
Not
Is
screw,
it-
screw employing people. It's people that have come into that position and are now like, I've seen the mistakes made, and I get to not make those mistakes.
No, right,
because
what
I
I'm-
understand how all this
what I'm
works. Because
saying-
I grew up with it in the 80s and 90s.
what I'm saying is that what if the alternative? What I'm asking is, or do you think because video games are so much bigger now than they've ever been before, that they're so integrated into our culture that now we know better?
I think-
The thing is that they weren't as integrated now, but they were really big in the 80s too before the crash.
I think
Right, but like that was I feel like back in the 80s that was looked at. There's movies, there's video games, there's this, there's that. Nobody ever really thought
I
about making a seriously good movie
I-
out of a video game based on a video game.
I think what it was is the source material was lacking in any kind of content to pull from, and nowadays because
Really, you don't see that they could have made a Pitfall game or Pitfall movie? I mean,
The thing is,
there's barely anything there to work with. But nowadays,
In a
but
way,
and so there's you think there's more information in Fruit Ninja than there is in Pitfall?
no, I think that's horseshit. But I'm saying games in general are more cinematic now, and there's more content to pull from. So one could attempt to make a movie that's semi-passable, as opposed to like the Super Mario Brothers movie, which was like barely had anything to do with actually the Mario game, because back then there was nothing to pull from.
it was.
Uh,
They tried to pull what they could. It's this weird balance where like when you take an old
no,
game
but,
like
but
that.
the thing is, again, you say that, and at the same time, I think there was plenty of information, plenty of things to pull from at that point. But then again, the person was either the studio or the director just didn't know what they were doing because they didn't understand it. The thing is, they took the broad outside concept and tried to apply it to a movie where you have two brother plumbers that have to go
Yeah.
into another world to save the princess and have to deal with Goombas.
Right, but that's all the game could offer.
No,
That's-
but-
that was all there was to pull from. They had to fill in the blanks the rest of themselves, and there was no framework.
and that's what I'm saying. Is I think if someone who actually understood the game at that point was directing,
But there was
Here's
nothing to
the thing I want to
understand.
bring up. Here's the thing I want to bring up with you, Jason.
but again, more like concepts. I think together,
Mhm.
as opposed to just taking what's on the outside and
Right.
guessing at everything else.
Here's what I want to bring up. At the same time as the movie came out, they had that comic series in Nintendo Power, which essentially, because they're both drawing from Mario, they have the same amount to draw from, and yet the comic series had way more.
The comic
love
series was
narrative.
a cartoon, and
Well,
it was made
still.
by Nintendo.
It wasn't made by
big
Nintendo. It was,
difference.
I think they got people in there to make it for Nintendo.
But it
back
was
then,
but it was for Nintendo. You see
And
what I
see,
mean? It
well,
wasn't.
see, they could have
it
done that
was-
with the movies. Is what I'm saying.
And to Garen's point, what he was saying earlier, and it basically clarifying, not clarifying, but like adding to what you said, is that the culture back then wasn't as diverse or broad as it is now.
Yeah.
As where before you had not as many people interested in video games as to where now you can have a really detailed Mario game, and I think people would go see it. As opposed to if you had someone who actually did follow and did a really good Mario movie, it would have bombed, and everyone would be like, oh, this is not a movie, whatever. I don't get this all nerd stuff. I don't get whatever, but in retrospect, it might have been, everyone would look at it like, and that was a good movie.
You also have to consider what quantified a good movie back then, and they're very different at the time because the filmic language was different, technology was different, our concept and understanding of story was different, American audience's taste was different. It was just a different time. I don't think it ever would have worked, even if games were intricate and detailed and had story, even if they were crummy, but they were like still decent. Like imagine Undertale. Undertale looks like a game made from the 80s, but there's enough of it there. I don't think those would have translated to good movies because I think the environment was just wrong for it.
Maybe.
Like they tried, but it was capitalization more than anything. I don't think they could have gotten away with a decent movie. The only good video game movie to come out of the 80s was The Wizard, and that was barely a video game movie. That was a story of like coming of age, and video games was the framework around it.
Well, it was interesting.
That and war games.
I was listening to somebody talk about, and someone was asked about comic book movies, and someone asked, "Are comic book movies ever going to end?"
We've had this discussion on the show too. It's about the westerns and stuff.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I think video game movies are just becoming a genre of film, a genre of
I don't.
this incorporating.
I wouldn't say a genre necessarily because we've had this discussion about comic book movies that they're just action movies or comedies
Right.
as source material. I think video games as a source material allows us leverage to make a fantasy movie like World of Warcraft or an action
Right.
movie like Uncharted
But again,
or
like
mystery.
what we've said before is that we have in the core concept and one of the classic genres, and it's painted with a video game.
I wouldn't say it's painted with a video game. I'd say it was
Or
based on
skinned.
characters that were written
Right,
from a
it's
video
It's
game.
skinned. It's
I
skinned.
wouldn't even say skinned. That's an unfair treatment because
Yeah.
they're making live action movies based on characters written by actual writers. And that's the
Right.
other thing, to Garen's point, but in a different direction. It's not that video game people that know what they're doing are coming to movies. It's that film people are going to video games, and quality writing is coming out of them now. You've got people that actually know what they're doing. Because back in the day, the only people making games were eggheads that wore glasses and pocket protectors. I mean, straight up computer science major level nerds with giant computers. There was no other way to do it. Nowadays, it's become so accessible that you can get people in there that have a focus but still want to make video games. I could work on a video game and have no knowledge of programming. I happen to have knowledge of programming, but without that knowledge, I could go in there as a writer, as a talented writer, because the platform can handle it, people can accept it, they want that kind of thing, and it drives games beyond just blips and bloops on the screen.
Right.
It makes it an emotional connection, which is why the industry has expanded to where it is. So half of it is like movies take game seriously because games are getting better, but games are getting better, and that's
Right.
more where it's coming from. I think it's a merging
No, I
of
mean
both of the
exactly. I
arguments.
mean, because and the thing is, it's not like we're talking about skydiving
Mhm.
and sailing a boat.
Right,
We're talking about skydiving and parachuting.
exactly.
Yeah, and I mean,
Or
again,
parasailing.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, either
Things
way.
in the sky. Oh, there he is. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Damn, he's gone off screen again. Anyway, so I don't know. I feel like I think these are bad examples of game movies, but I mean, at least
My thought has always been for game movies that the best game movies they never made would have been ones based off of arcade beat 'em ups and whatnot.
yeah,
Like a movie based off of Final Fight or Sunset Riders or something.
where there's just like a
where
very
there's
loose,
just enough. There's just
a
enough
setup.
Yeah, just enough of a setup that you could incorporate everything from the game, but you have the freedom to write the rest of it originally.
But you have to write it in the genre. You wouldn't
Yeah.
make a post-apocalyptic Sunset Riders. You
No.
make Sunset Riders a western because it's a western.
Or like
That's
just
what
like an
Mario
action
had.
movie.
Right, I mean, well, I
for
mean-
a fight or something.
I think when you're looking at that, I mean, isn't that kind of like any of the Bruce Lee fight films?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
But that's the thing. That's what they weren't going towards. That they were going towards games that were popular. And again, that's why we have a Fruit Ninja movie. I don't know why Ratchet and Clank ended up becoming a movie. I think that's a little bit of an obscure offshoot.
that was
It was a
Sony's
good
decision, I think.
right. It was a series that was popular, but it wasn't like Ratchet and Clank. You know.
Oh
it
no,
was
actually, I remember. I think
huge.
they wanted to reboot Ratchet and Clank and bring back the first game,
Maybe
and then they made a movie to go along with it to try to further draw the hype up.
I can see that.
Because I think they released a new game.
Again, it was all
recently,
Sony.
But making
so-
a Fruit
Yeah, like-
Ninja game is just because Fruit Ninja's popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's not because it's good. It's
Now,
not
do you
because
think
it's
they
making
pick
a
games
movie.
like this because it gives writers more freedom to come up with a story?
No,
or
I
do
think
you
executives literally say, "What's the highest selling game right now?"
Fruit
And
Ninja, let's
they
make a
pick it.
movie.
I think
Okay.
it's some guy whose nephew plays phone games.
No, but then what I'm saying is, not for a creative stance, but like for making money, meaning that they go like, all right, we have this game Fruit Ninja. What is it about? Oh, you just slice fruits. Oh, okay. Then they take the name Fruit Ninja and use it just as that, and then they still do
like
the difference
what
between-
Mario did.
Yeah.
Like with Mario games.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
the difference
that's
between Fruit Ninja and whatever like family comedy they're making is
Right.
just the name Fruit Ninja.
Right.
So like that is,
It's-
I,
that's exactly
now
my
they
point.
threw some samurai into it.
Yeah, so like that's what
exactly
I
my
think
point.
they're
Why
starting
this
to do now.
it's bad and why it's no different than the old crappy Mario movie is that there's no for a Fruit Ninja specifically. It's about as much of a video game movie, like it's the Fruit Ninja title on it.
Like,
It's a Fruit Ninja title on otherwise a family-friendly film, and it's because some old guy with gray hair has a nephew who plays Fruit Ninja, and he went, I'm not here. The kids all they to play this Fruit Ninja. I'll make it happen. Make a Fruit Ninja, and he threw it at somebody without giving a shit. That's how this movie's being made. Nobody gives a shit about Fruit Ninja to the point that they thought this would make a great movie. It's some asshole sitting at a desk made of fucking marble who thinks he's going to profit off of the name Fruit Ninja,
Now, here's something
might.
interesting is that I
You might.
saw.
especially if it doesn't cost
I
anything.
don't know if we all saw Warcraft.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
I had no interest in it.
You saw it.
Mhm.
Okay, so I didn't love. I was like meh about it afterwards. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like it wasn't bad either.
If you've never played or seen Warcraft, you're probably lost and didn't care.
Yes and no, but I think okay. The reason, well, I blame that on just the way it was edited and some of the directions they went with in terms of which characters they focused on.
And some of the dialogue and the lore.
There are very few parts that if we watch that
Wizard's
movie together,
Battle.
I know we could point out exactly which
Yeah.
parts we both went like what, and then
Yeah.
but I remember watching it and like I laughed afterwards and I was just laughing at the movie. I went with one of my friends and we were like, but the thing was about that I appreciated at least was that they tried.
Yeah.
Was that they actually put in the effort to make a cohesive story with like characters you were emotionally tied to,
Mhm.
some real like deep story going on, and it set up a sequel really well.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay, like, oh, and because I have some semi-knowledge of the game, I go, oh, that's when, oh, okay, that's cool. And I get excited for that, which is awesome. So, but at least they tried. That to me is, it doesn't have to be good, but I think that's going to be a movie that's going to be, not a blueprint, but it's going to be a stepping stone of
Yeah.
what a video game movie actually, not done right, but taking care
parts
of.
of it. Parts
Parts
of
of
it.
It's just like take the source material seriously and also pull from something where there is material that's
Yeah.
worthy of doing. Not
I think-
Fruit Ninja, but like Uncharted.
I think
Yeah.
it's a dangerous kind of thing because you have to find something that has enough material to pull from,
Mhm.
but not too much. Because you remember
True.
when Final Fantasy Spirits Within came out,
Mhm.
and everybody was like, why didn't they make a movie of Final Fantasy VII? And then the sensible people were saying, well, then you'd just be watching the game play
Yeah.
out for
Yeah.
20 hours.
That-
Exactly.
Well, they
that-
did make
that's-
Advent
that's-
Children.
Well, they made Advent Children, but then they made that where it was like a
Advent
sequel
Children was
kind of
actually really
later,
different
Yeah.
than the game.
sort of thing. But like
It was,
people
yeah.
people literally wanted just a replaying of the game as a movie.
Because people had a huge boner for Final Fantasy VII,
And-
and it's overrated.
And there's been other situations like that, so it's like you gotta be careful.
I think
I do.
I think the problem is like with
8
Uncharted.
was better. 9 was even better.
I bet you I'd take more than that.
9 told a better story.
Okay.
I think with Uncharted though is and I think we've said this before as well, is that if you make an Uncharted movie, how is that exactly going to work? Like, I mean, I'd probably watch it,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I wouldn't feel fulfilled like I do if I would be playing the game.
I think the difference
because when you look at the game,
Uh-huh.
they have amazing cinematic cutscenes, but at the same
Right.
time, they've also at least up to 4. I mean,
I
where
think-
we now, you're more interacting
Right.
with it.
I think for an Uncharted movie, the story would still be there. It'd be 1-to-1. Cinematics would be great. The action and the gunplay from the game could turn into some fun action set pieces. Not like the full-fledged ones. I mean, you'd have those too, like falling out of the train.
Right.
But some of the combat could just be like, oh, they're in a battle, and it's like maybe a 3-minute danger scene.
Right.
Nothing crazy. And then the puzzles would just be where they would stick some exposition and character development while Nathan Drake is pulling levers.
But
and stuff.
that's what I'm saying is that like the parts where it's like even if they do really well the gunplay,
Mhm.
it's still I think
Well, it's not
that
going to be immersive.
that's exactly it, and that's
But-
where I think
but
that's where my
I think there's a okay. think about John Wick, right? John
Yeah.
Wick had immersive gunplay, but it was highly stylized, right?
Yeah.
But you can get in the middle of a gunfight in an action movie if it's filmed well. One could argue that Children of Men, while it's not as interesting visually as John Wick in terms of gunplay, because of the perspective that you put in and because of the way that they shoot it, and also the unbroken camera, blah, 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 that puts you in the middle of it to the point where it's like, oh Jesus. And you could have something similar to that where you're down dirty in the muck, or any war film or whatever, within a gun scene. Now I'm not talking about a gun scene in like the gruesome way. I'm talking of it more like an Indiana Jones, like the guys are here, and for the next 4.5 minutes it's going to be tension. I mean that type of gunplay. Like, oh no, the Nazis are here. Now Nathan Drake has to escape, and now the wall caved in, and now the beat slows down, and now we have some more exposition.
Well, but I think that's where it gets a little tricky because in my opinion, you have what set Uncharted
Mhm.
apart from other video games and even other movies
Mhm.
is that it was different and the immersion that you took control of certain things
Right.
helped.
Yeah.
And that even during set pieces you controlled what was happening.
Right.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that those things couldn't still translate into a very fun to watch
No,
movie.
but I think
It-
the problem is that when you do that in a movie,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna have the comparisons or the laterals to like Indiana Jones, and
Well,
that
yeah, but that's
But also the
why-
make and
what's
break
wrong
of
with that?
of a movie like if they made an Uncharted movie, the make or break would be
when
the action
when
scenes.
the Uncharted
Yeah.
movie comes out.
Yeah, but you see, like that, the make or break of it would be the action scenes. The reason being is part of the if you cut out all the parts where you're playing in the game with the story parts, it's just a sequence of events happening. It's not a cause and effect thing. When you're playing the game, you shoot something and something falls down or breaks.
Yeah.
It's a cause and effect. You realize,
Or
oh,
you're
why am I
selling
here?
hustle and things start.
Yeah, why am I here? Why am I there? Oh, it's because I did this, that. There's
Right, but-
causality to it. When you try to shrink that down into a movie, you have to really plan well your action scenes and how they're going to tie from one thing happening to another for it to make sense and be entertaining, and that's where it screws up.
Well,
that's why I think a lot of Warcraft screwed up.
Or Transformers. for
Or
that matter.
Transformers.
Right.
You can't. That's where the problem is. It's not
Like-
the stories or anything like that. It's the sequence of events that tie
Again,
into major plot points.
Transformers set pieces,
Mhm.
some amazing action.
They
points.
really are.
As an isolated thing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if you take, but again, the things that tie that together,
Right.
ruin the movie.
I know,
Right.
but that's the discussion that always happens about the flying glass no-brainer, and
Mhm.
Rocket Jump has a really good essay, like a 12-minute video essay on this. It's not that action movies suck because they have bad stories or whatever. It's again, like Aaron's saying, it's a cause and effect and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But that's not a commentary on video games. That's just make sure you have somebody that knows what they're doing. That could be any movie could
Right.
have this problem or
But-
could have this success, regardless of whether or not it's a video.
It's not a negative commentary on video games, but it's a commentary showing that it's hard to adapt video games because video games naturally the way they are
Right.
made are that something happens, I have to go do this. You go do it yourself, and then now that I got here, what happened
No,
next? And you watch the
Not
cutscene.
really. I think they suffer from the same problem. I think Gears of War is a perfect example of a lot of disconnected set pieces for like action that's fun, and then nothing happens, and then you move on and you're at the next level. And Halo had that problem. Fucking Call of Duty has that problem. There's plenty of games that do this. Like,
I mean,
shit.
I don't
Naughty
know.
Dog's good at telling stories. That's why it's good in The Last of Us and in Uncharted,
But-
because they know what they're doing.
But even with Halo, I mean, at least the first 2 that I played, 2 or 3, I can't remember now.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed the story.
I'm not saying the story was bad. I'm saying they suffer from the same problem that action movies do, where you've got disconnected set pieces that feel like set pieces. They don't feel like a game that flows all the way through.
And what I should have said is I think I forgave that flaw
Because it was a game.
because I was playing it. Because I was the one
Because
driving it.
you're constantly stimulated when you're
Yeah.
playing a video game. You're in it and you're making decisions on the
It's
spot.
that you don't have time to think of, oh wait, this story doesn't make sense because you're
Right.
killing something.
But that's
Yeah.
also because they don't have ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and that's why they would make bad movies.
right.
Uncharted and also The Last of Us, and again Naughty Dog, because they are taking what makes movies good and putting them into games, they have a constant flow where you have a lull, and then it starts building, and then you have a little bit of tension and some action, and then you have a lull, and they follow that wave the same way that a movie does. If you had a movie like Halo that was a non-stop battle, you'd have you'd
But
fall
the-
asleep. You'd run out
But
of
the
adrenaline.
opposite, you could say something about Last of Us, where I'm very confident when I say this that Last of Us is an amazing game, amazing story, but the story is only that amazing because because it combines with a well-made game. If you made the Last of
No,
Us is
I
basically a
watched-
better version of I Am Legend, but if you put that out as a movie, people would go watch it. But it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Oh, like, there's a relationship between this guy.
There's like 3.5 to 4 hours of content
But
there
that's the
outside.
only reason
No,
is
I'm
because
talking.
you're so invested.
No, I'm talking outside of the game. If you just watch the cutscenes and just follow it along, it's still good enough to hold on its own. I've shown people that don't play video games just the cutscenes, and they've gotten into it
But
because of the writing.
But it's
and the
also,
characters.
but it's also because, but if I told you, hey, like watch all this stuff, this is a movie. If you watch
they
it,
would
you're
have
gonna
to
be like,
again.
what?
It would have to be interconnected like a movie, and this is where the translation comes in, because there are aspects that happen inside of the game that are story aspects. That if you took the gameplay away, they would still be good stories. You just have to fill in the blanks of like the movement and stuff. But the development is still there. You stay with them for a lot longer than a movie would allow you to, but it's still there. That's also why I think making video game movies is horseshit. I think a TV show works a lot better for some of these because not all of them, in fact, the vast majority of them are very short. But the good ones that take a little bit of time and you really get invested and you sink like 10, 12 hours into them, a movie would never do that. And that's why I think TV shows, especially with the climate that we have for like long form narration in TV, would be much better to have like a series or a mini series.
I agree with you on that.
Around a
I
TV
think
show.
there
On a
could be
video.
some really good TV shows based on video games if they put the time and effort
Yeah.
into making it like.
The Last of Us would be an incredible,
I think it would be.
depressing TV show.
I totally agree with you. I think that would be incredible. That would be really
Just
good.
a 1 season, 12 episodes, hour long, Netflix exclusive, just like bam.
Because then you could just say, because then that's a binge show that you
Absolutely.
call up your friends like, did you see it? Oh my god, and like you cry together.
And like 3 episodes, like basically 3 episodes. Well, no, the seasons didn't break down evenly in the gameplay. It'd be like 3 for the first one, 4 for the second one, and then 3 and then 2. That add up? I don't know.
But do you even think they would have a budget for something like that?
Yeah, of course. Game of Thrones exists.
Yeah,
Fucking expensive
Yeah,
as
but
shit
Game
to
of
do
Thrones
that.
on HBO.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, Netflix might not have the budget.
Yeah, no, but that's
my,
not the
my point is that something like that could definitely run. Also, The Last of Us, because it has so few characters, you could get away with doing it. I think you'd have to pull it back a little bit in the way of zombies and stuff, but The Walking Dead gets away with that as well. I think you could do it. It's a question of how faithfully adaptation-wise could you do it.
Yeah.
As The Last of Us specifically, but even then, I think you could get away with it. What's really the problem with Last of Us specifically is getting the performance out of somebody that's not Troy Baker and not what's her name? Did anybody else? Did I just dream that?
Ellen Page. Yeah, someone's in the.
It wasn't Ellen Page. It was somebody else.
I don't remember what
I
they are.
God damn it, I don't remember her name. But getting those two. Somebody yelling out there.
Yeah, there's stuff going on outside.
No, it's next door.
Or next
Huh.
door.
Weird. Anyway, so getting that out of people that aren't Troy Baker and the lady that played Ellie, God damn, I can't remember her name. That's going to be what's difficult because you couldn't put them on screen. They wouldn't look right. I mean, if you wanted to do a mini-series or a series for The Last of Us in 20 years, Troy Baker could probably do it because he'd be 20 years older and he would look like Joel. Beyond that, that's your big problem is personifying the characters accurately, which is why animation is the better way to go.
Right.
Whew, man. Adobe t-shirts. Let me knock this one out because I still have it on my laptop. My laptop's dying. Adobe, the company that makes Premiere and Photoshop and Illustrator and all of those, you know Adobe. They started a apparel line called Adobe Stock Apparel, and these are t-shirts with the world's worst stock photos on them. I shouldn't say worst, I should say the ones that everybody knows because they see them and they just go, what the fuck? So you've got such classics as Smiling Woman Drawing Red Graph, Call Center Woman Wearing Headset, Happy Senior Couple Piggybacking at the Beach, Happy Office Workers Pointing at Blank Sign, Mature Businessman with Boxing Gloves Fighting Coworker, and my personal favorite, Firm Handshake Between Business Associates. All on t-shirts. Honestly, it looks like something that Yeezy would wear. It's like this crappy oversized sweater that's like the sleeve is just up a little bit, and it's just totally plain white and just a picture right in the middle.
I totally
Like something
would buy something like that.
ironically that somebody would wear, and somebody at Adobe said this is a good idea.
I totally.
Yeah,
would.
Is this real?
This is real. This is real. Very limited run of shirts. Here it is, Stock Apparel, SS16. I'm just going to scroll through real quick. There's a catalog and everything. I still hear noises. It's making me
On
scared.
the
Guys.
walls.
Request Adobe Stock Trial. Get your first 50 images for free. Oh, it's also, I'm sure, a promotion for their stock photo service. That's the other thing about it. I don't have any information as to the pricing of the shirts. I just know that it's a thing.
Are you sure it's not a comedy ad for their stock photos?
Oh, I don't know. It could be, I suppose, but I saw a number of people talking about this.
And that's because the thing is when you got to the bottom, to the back of the end of that brochure.
They said it was a very limited run. So, like I said, I think it's a type of promotion. I think it's like,
Okay.
like
You
basically,
don't think
you know,
it's just they put in a fake site?
you know when Nike
And
made,
make a fake brochure to
no,
promote
you know when
their.
Nike made like a limited run of the Back to the Future shoes? I think it's like that. I think
But-
it's like
but-
a publicity stunt.
But even then, like in the beginning when that first came out, that was a lie. It was,
No,
it was,
I
it was
know
someone
that.
that made the and like 10 years, not 10, like 3 or 4 years later, Nike finally did it. But I mean, even then, like
Right.
it took a while. Like
Okay, let me see if I can find a place to actually buy them
because
instead of just a brochure.
Okay.
yeah, because it started off as a rumor,
Mhm.
and then for the rumor, it kind of moved on from there.
Alright.
Give me some-
Oh, should I get some news
Yeah,
all
yeah.
your own thing? Alright, so Furious 8
Yes,
is going to make a new Fast and Furious movie.
coming out next year.
And guess who's apparently going to be appearing in the movie?
If you say Paul Walker,
No,
I'll
his
slam my
wife.
laptop shut.
Paul Walker's character.
Yeah, it is.
I thought
Okay.
I thought he had his last ride.
Well, but apparently they want to have some kind of appearance from Paul Walker's character,
Mm-hmm.
and so they talked to his brothers.
They're getting his brothers to do that.
They talked to his brothers about it, and like Vin Diesel and the brothers talked for a while, and they're gonna try to figure out a way to do that, but they also want to be respectful.
God damn it! They had him drive off into the sunset. Let it go.
So
This
they want
is legitimately irritating.
Yeah.
so they want to do something with that apparently.
All I can find is the lookbook, by the way, for this. I don't think they're
Oh.
on sale yet. If they're ever going to be on sale, but supposedly they are.
All right.
Just go to that link.
I did. Oh wait, the
Yeah.
shit. All right, I'll type it in manually.
So the rest of the articles that I have, just to start off, it's all video game stuff from here on out.
Sweet.
As I've gone through all my movie stuff. How long have we been on, Robert?
I really don't know.
'Cause I don't remember exactly when we started.
Where are we?
I have no idea.
No idea? Okay, well, I'm probably not going to
You
get
guys
through
just
all of
get
these, but that's
concussions.
okay.
Actually about 30 minutes because we started about 6:30.
Really?
30?
No,
That's
dude,
it?
we've been on for
No,
longer.
it has to have been longer, I
No.
think.
It was just a half a football.
Was it
I,
at the
I was
bottom?
texting.
That's like an
somebody
hour.
started.
Half a football is like an hour.
We started at 5.
No, we
6.
started at 6.
6 something.
6:05.
Yeah. Okay. So an hour. We've been
So,
on for an hour.
so it's been an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do just a few of these, because I'll do like 3 of them, that's it.
It's just this
Um,
link, by the way, is just a place to request a trial and get 50 free stock photos. If you need any stock photos, by the way, if we want to pull some down for our shows, now's the time to do it.
Stock
Unless
photos.
they give you the same 50. Maybe they give everybody the same images. This is our sample pack. Here you
Yeah.
Sample pack. Alright, so apparently in Europe, retailers are being told
Oh,
that they
yeah,
will.
I'm pretty sure that was a joke ad.
go.
for the apparel. Yeah.
All right, so apparently
I'm 100% sure now, Jason.
They said it was a limited run.
apparently
Yeah, it was limited to how many free things you would get.
I want a firm handshake on a sweater.
There,
I
the
would
thing is, you
love that.
can. You could buy the stock image,
And put it on, and well, I guess I could screen print it.
or go to Costco or wherever they print, and then be like, here, print this. And like, do you have the rights to this
Just
image?
an iron on.
And be like, yes, Adobe gave me permission, and boom.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah. All right, so apparently in Europe, retailers are no longer going to be able to order Wii U's after next week,
Really?
Not surprised.
Wow.
and that's probably going to extend out to here soon.
Did you also hear that the NX is like one of the best systems to ever?
Yeah, because
perform?
the NX is coming around, and so they're probably phasing out the Wii U. So if you want a new Wii U for whatever reason, after next week, stores aren't going to be getting any more new ones. So that's like the last batch.
This rumor happened a year ago.
Did this?
I mean, not a year ago. Like right before summer, is that they're stopping production on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, this is saying that like Nintendo's saying to these retailers, like, we're not going to send you any more. After
Yeah,
this, so.
and there was a memo leak that Nintendo's stopping production on the Wii U, and like Nintendo came out quick to say no, that's not true. But like the thing is, this was even before the NX was like a
Yeah.
thought, not a
So-
thought, but like officially announced at.
I thought in everybody else's minds.
Thought in everybody else's minds. All right, here's another interesting one. So Street Fighter V on
Hadouken!
PC had an update, and apparently
Malware.
it has some malware in it.
Oh.
No.
Well, it's not. Well, here's what
It
it
makes
is.
your computer susceptible to
Yeah,
malware.
it has a Capcom.sys file in it that it installs onto your computer,
Uh-huh.
and that essentially opens up a back door.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
And so the people who have updated Street Fighter could have this back door on their computer.
How do you get rid of it?
Patch it.
I'm not sure. Patch it, I guess, or whatever.
You want,
Some-
oh no!
patch it.
Right now you uninstall and then you patch.
Soul patch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And of course, I'm sure some people are thinking that this is like just a mistake, but it's also Capcom,
Yeah.
so it might have been intentional that they wanted to get access into people's computers and
Start the Capcom worm.
do Capcom things.
I think more or less is that a coder didn't understand exactly what they were doing.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
They put in something that like, oh, I finally got it to work with this thing.
I
And
mean,
they didn't
'cause
realize how
if-
dangerous it was.
And again, the proper hacker and coder could look at the code and see if it was actually malicious.
Mhm.
And if it is, you get a huge class action lawsuit
Yeah.
against Capcom.
A lot of times it's not even malicious. A lot of times it's just finding a way to force it to accept more data than it needs to. That's
Mhm.
90% of it is just finding something. Like I watched an example on Viceland, and it was basically like the password was 8 characters long,
Mhm.
and I'm paraphrasing and summarizing. It's 8 characters long, but the particular string was allowed to be 10 characters long, even though the passwords had to be 8 characters long. And so they were able to force more data through than was necessary, and in that way, they were able to just to open a channel more or
Mhm.
less. And from there, once they had overflown it, they had access, and they were able to just very quickly do some very small lines of code, and that was
Yeah.
it.
All right, so have you guys heard of Digital Homicide?
No,
It sounds familiar, but
is it a
They're
company?
they're a company,
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna
and
say.
they make the shovelwariest of shovelware on Steam.
Oh,
They make absolute garbage.
Yeah,
so they steal
yeah.
assets and
Now I know
whatnot.
where I heard
Yeah.
of this.
And they're terrible. And they attempted to sue 100 Steam users for $18 million over bad reviews, because people go in there and they give them terrible reviews because they make terrible games.
That's funny.
And they were saying like, these are damages. They're getting upset that they're not getting sales because people are shitting on their games. And so
because
they're
they make shit.
because they make shit games.
Mhm.
And so they were trying to sue them, and they like wanted Valve to give them the identities of these users or whatnot.
Wait, who was it?
Digital Homicide.
What games have they made?
The shovel.
Really bad ones. I watched some videos of them. I don't know even my name, but they all look pretty terrible.
Digital Homicide sounds like the people who did Alien Homicide, but that's not them.
No.
Alien Hominid.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, Alien
That
Hominid
was-
was.
No,
Alien
no.
Hominid is the behemoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Um,
first game they made, really.
yeah, that was the first game they made was Alien Hominid. In response to this, Valve removed all their games.
Nah,
Well,
good for
basically took
them.
all of them.
They took them right the fuck out
Because they have
Yeah.
integrity.
because they have integrity, and also finally they needed to be taken out for a while because
Yeah.
they make nothing but garbage.
Well, good.
So
I mean, that doesn't do anything for the lawsuit, but good.
yeah, well, I mean, it might stop them, or it might make them move towards Valve instead. Who knows? Let's see. How much more do you guys want to go?
I want to know what games they made.
Oh, Well, go look for it. They
I
made
did.
it.
The thing is, it's not really coming up.
They're not worth knowing, honestly.
Well, they made a bunch of just really crappy stuff. I honestly do not
They
know
made
any of it by
Fractured
name.
Space?
No, the thing is,
No.
it's taking me to.
Yeah, it's taking him to the store page where the games don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So it's sending him to the home page.
I don't know. I've got a few more articles. I don't
They've
know
had
how much longer you want
greenlit
to go or not.
games.
It's a lot of it's been on Greenlight. I believe. That's how they get their stuff up there.
Wriglin's Nightly Duties, The Crazy Adventure of Pooh Flung-Doo. Yeah.
This sounds like some AAA level.
Withering Kingdom, Fury of Arrows. Mike the Astronaut, Battle on Atrium 12.
If out of context, some of these names sound like they could potentially make decent games. Like if I gave a AAA developer these names, they could go, all right, I see this, and they would make a good game around the concept based purely on the name. But since I know that these guys they shovel shit for a living, I know that these things are all terrible.
Clickerton Gang.
What was the one that I saw?
Clickerton Gang, I bet that's an idle game.
Clickerton Gang.
There was one that was like a first-person shooter, and you were like on a space station and kind of.
Oh, it is an idle game. Wow, I was kidding when I said that, but that's.
You just kind of travel around, shot stuff, and it was really poorly done. I don't know what the name of it was.
So you just shoot. Oh, you just shoot people.
It's one of those idle games where you
Yeah.
just click it a bunch, then eventually it clicks itself. All right, that's all I got. I'm tired. It's been about an hour. It's
Yeah,
time
we
to
can-
close out the show.
We can close out the show.
You want to hear more of this? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like it if you think it's cool. Share it with your friends. It's the Unscripted Network on YouTube. You can Google it. You can search it. It comes up. Also, check out our other shows. Quiet on the Set every other Sunday live at 1 p.m.
Over here.
And Dan and Saran Take on Hollywood, which did not happen this week, but will be happening again soon. And does anybody else have anything else to say?
No.
No?
I don't. Yeah,
I want to say hi.
It's the first intelligent thing you said. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. You
I
said
know.
plenty.
We never got to Garen's article.
Because
Oh,
you gave
yeah,
his article.
Garen's article.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did it?
No.
No, you didn't say it. Do it, Garen's article.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
Yeah, his internet's still not cooperating.
Because Robert was supposed to do it.
Well, I wasn't. I said I had it.
No, he said he had
no.
it, but he like delegated it back.
Oh,
to
I
me.
thought because Garen's like, oh, I'm not going to do the article because Robert
Ah.
has it. It's miscommunication all over.
Is it really worth? pulling
Yes,
up right
it's
now?
your only article. Do it.
Okay, fine. Basically, California enacted a law that required sites like IMDb, where actors post their profiles. Now they're not required to show their age anymore.
Really?
Basically,
Mhm.
That's really why.
Age discrimination.
yeah. The whole there was a lot of like.
Oh, okay.
The whole point was they were trying to make a thing that a lot of people haven't gotten jobs or whatever
Alright.
because of their age.
Remember that in the state of California, if an employer, while you're in an interview, asks you your age, you are not. Oh my God.
You're not legally
You're-
obligated to answer.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to ask you, but they'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
There's a tip for all you job seekers out there in I guess, just California. I don't know if this applies to the rest of the country. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And now it applies to IMDb, so now you can't ask.
That's interesting.
No,
I mean, you can put it up there if you want.
Even by request.
The
like,
thing
they don't
is,
have to
it's
tell you.
it's edited by, so it's not, it's like Wikipedia. I mean, anybody can put it up there if they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a bummer. I go to IMDb, usually my number one thing I'm doing, or okay, let's call it number 4 on the list, is trying to find out how old somebody is.
well, the
Because
thing
I'm
is,
curious.
it's still gonna be on Google and Wikipedia.
Yeah, but someone noteworthy.
'Cause-
Noteworthy.
I think usually the large problem with IMDb is that and people treat that like LinkedIn,
Uh-huh.
and people are now using that as resumes.
Yeah.
And so, whereas there would be an article, article is that you put a link now on your headshot
Mhm.
to a lot of stuff on your IMDb.
Or a QR code
Yeah.
or something.
And so, if you're smart. Also, just in heads up, the law doesn't become effective till January 1st, 2017.
That's still, I mean,
I know, I'm
it's
just
a
saying.
thing that happened. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Alright.
Like and subscribe, share it with your friends, follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. Got nothing else? I'm sleepy.
Too.
I think we're good.
Hit the thing.